Hello. I'm hoping that this is working. I'm messing around with the technology again. Trying to work out how to get my live broadcast to incorporate the video that I made yesterday, introducing you to Rango. And by the way, we happened to be teaching Rango his second session of gunshots. Obviously, for films and such like, there's going to be a requirement that some horses are immune to gunshots or other explosions. So you join us yesterday, and on the video I'm going to show you today, you join us on his second gunshot session. The reason why I want to bring this up again today is from the questions yesterday. I had two questions. One question was about a horse that got overwhelmed when it had to be asked to work in an arena if there was a lot of other horses there. So first of all, before we begin, good morning everybody. Could you send me a good morning and let me know that you can hear this? Because as you can see, I've set up the screen a little bit different to normal, and I'd just like to make sure that everybody's going. So just morning. Well, obviously, Liz, you've sent a good morning. Thank you very much. That means you can hear me. So yes, I had one inquiry for a horse that was frightened of going in an arena when there was lots of horses in there, and then another one questioning about napping horses. In other words, a horse that is frightened. What do they call it in America? They don't call it napping. Stable sour, or maybe that's something else. When a horse is frightened to go out on its own, out of the yard and leave the other horses. So I think that both these questions are how to teach a horse that something it's decided is scary isn't scary, and it's just coincidence that we happen to be teaching Rango to the pistol yesterday. So if you want to teach a horse that, I'm not going to be some kind of guru here saying that he knows it all. I know what I've done. We've done some major shows, fireworks, obviously jousting is pretty major for the horses, with all the shields crashing, swords crashing, people shouting. We've flown our horses around the world. We've done a lot of things, filming these studios that we go in. I've put a little post on saying, oh look, we've got some models on a horse, didn't they do well? But the actual thing that the horses have to cope with is absolutely amazing. For example, we got called to studios in London for a famous photographer called Rankin, who was doing a program of Chinese version of I Supermodel. So it was the Chinese version of that. And basically these poor girls, these supermodels had to go into various challenges every week and model. And this week's was horses. And bless them, they were terrified. They weren't wearing much. So that didn't make them feel very secure either. It was in a studio, and they had to stand up on the horse's saddle. They had to lay back over the horse's rump. They had to stand in front of a horse while it reared behind them. It was such a challenge. And these girls, bless them, they wanted to win the competition. So they were literally terrified. And then the camera came, and they were up and tits and teeth and pouting. And for the microsecond, the camera went off, and then they went back to screaming and hunching forward and holding on to the horse. It was very funny. So these horses had to go into a studio, and it was one of those big reveal things. So firstly, the studio had this rattly door, those metal doors that roll up. And then they had to go from a bright car park where we were hiding them around the corner for the big reveal. The girls, 20-odd girls, were already in the studio. And the horses had to walk in. Of course, the girls would scream. And then in these studios, they've got these white walls that move on cranes. So these and the studio hands just aren't aware of horses at all. So the horse is standing there, and suddenly the bit of wall behind the horse will suddenly pick itself up and start walking off, and all sorts of things. I mean, it's a real challenge to do these studios, and a lot of the producers don't even realise that a lot of horses wouldn't even go in there, let alone have costume come up, draping all kinds of fabrics all over them and such like. The reason why I'm bigging up what my horses have done is a little bit of, I do know what I'm talking about from what I've been talking about. I don't want to be a guru that knows absolutely everything about horses, but this is what I've done to teach my however many teen horses that we've got. They're very hard to count, they keep moving. How to accept that something isn't scary. So I have got the background for it. I do know what I'm talking about. If it doesn't quite apply to your situation, yeah, maybe we could talk about that. Maybe I could help. Maybe I can't, but I think I probably can. Anyway, so training this horse to gunshot. Okay, so I've got the video here. Oh, where's my? Oh, there's my finger. We've got the video here on the side of the screen, and we'll just play a little bit, and then I'll have a little chat as something occurs to me. I hope this works. Let's hope that works. Continue to some of our other animals, and we spoke about the peacocks, Roger and Rennie, and now we're going to introduce you to Rango, who is being trained to gunshots today. So there you are. Even got something to see. Oh, where is he? There. Okay then. Who is this?
Good boy, Rango. This is Rango.
This is Rango.
And he is a American quarter horse cross Andalusian, which is called an Azteca, and they're the national horse of Mexico.
National horse of Mexico.
Apparently. And he's got cool markings.
Yeah, it kind of looks a bit like dirt on this camera, but it's not dirt.
He's a bit fluffy. He's got his
yeah,
winter coat.
it's a bit more distinct in summer, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a bit of a winter coat, but he's got like barring on his legs, a dorsal stripe.
And barring on his shoulders,
yeah,
kind of weird thing.
markings on
Hang on,
his
let me just show
shoulders.
you barring on your legs. Is that coming through?
Just see it.
Can't see it. It's a bit dark, isn't it?
Us being able to see the markings. There we are.
Alright, stop being so suspicious.
So he's a newish horse to us.
And he's young as well, Rango. I might chuck that in as well. And he's straight out.
Yeah, so those black
tail.
patches are actually barrings.
Yeah.
There we are.
So he's in training.
And what are you doing? Shut up, Popple Guy. What are you doing with him today?
He's a Western horse. He should be able to be in Western movies, so to speak, which means actually I'm training into a gunshot. So
Yeah, I'll get the gun in the camera.
yeah, this is a blank firing gun, so it's safe. It just shoots blanks. So it's just about the noise. So I'm getting him used to the sound of gunshot today.
Okay, so what's the plan? What are you going to do with
Well,
him?
what I don't want to do is to start shooting the gun when he's got nothing else to look at but the gun. It's all about the gun. That's not what I want to do. So I want to distract him, give him a job, keep him.
What's the job you're going to give him?
I'm actually just going to loose school him round, but keep him thinking. Do the pattern that we've been working on anyway for the last few months. We've already got this, so he's comfy in here. He's comfy with the pattern. He's comfy with the crack of the lunge whip. So we're adding in the sound of the gun as well, and just trying to make it all very normal. So that's the key, is just to get him used to this. It's just the sound.
Okay then, right, so you're going to do some loose schooling and by coincidence shoot a gun. That's the idea. Right, I'm going to get out of the way. Okay, let's have a little stop there. So quite a lot of important information came out just then, and I'd like to emphasize it. So if we've got to get a horse used to something that's potentially scary, then I've got three principles that I use at the same time. Firstly is bite sizes. So we're going to bite size it down so that we're not overwhelming the horse. You heard Zana there say that we've already got the horse used to the cracking of the lunge whip. So we'd been, probably if somebody teaches lunging, they'd have thought we're absolute idiots, because we're cracking away at the lunge whip. And we've also got a bull whip, which is a louder crack. And so as we were training the horse, we're cracking whips all over the place, because we know that we're going to do this gun training later in the time. And yeah, so basically we just get the bite size is little bangs, big bangs, mega bangs. There we are. So the little bangs for the lunge whip, then the bull whip, and then the gun. So bite sizes are quite important. And the other thing that Zana's just said that is super important is that we're going to give him a job of something that he knows how to do anyway. So she's been loose schooling him. It looks lovely. You're going to see it in a minute. Loose schooling him to go round in a circle around her, and then when she whistles and stops moving, he's to spiral in and then just stand by her. And sometimes she's got a little mounting up routine that then follows on from that. But she's about to do this now. This routine has been going for, I don't know, two or 3 months. So it's, you know, it's pretty established. So as we introduce the louder bang, the principle will be that you're just doing this thing that you're good at. I'm a great fan of lunging for this purpose. I had a horse called Sputnik, a spooky Welsh cob, and we used to take him to shows, and I'd go and lunge him, because he was good at lunging, he was comfortable at lunging, and he would take the attitude that if Karl is lunging me, if Karl is schooling me, and we're doing the thing that I do, then everything must be normal. So that was quite good. So yeah, I'm a great fan of lunging, and this is kind of like lunging without a lunge line. So the 3 principles, there was 2 there. 1 is bite size, don't overwhelm the horse. 2 is give the horse a job. What we're not going to do is just focus on the scary thing. Quite a lot of people, we've got flags around the arena, and people will march their horse up to the flag and they'll go, "It's all right, Brandy, it's only a flag," and start absolutely focusing the horse on the flag. Well, I mean, that's almost a guaranteed way to get the horse to take notice of the flag. I'd prefer the horse to do what it's told. In other words, walk from A to B. If I'm walking through town and a shop awning comes out, I'd much prefer the horse to carry on walking and to have the relationship and the pattern of behavior that when a unknown thing, potentially scary thing, however you like to describe it, pops into our world, the thing to do is to listen to Karl. When I do the rider confidence courses, I call this hit the mark, hit the mark, hit the mark. So we'll be doing a circle, and my whole focus will be on the perfection of the circle, hitting all 4 points of the circle in the middle of the arena, at sea, and on the fence, and getting that absolutely right, whilst I ask Zana to introduce some spooks, but we're doing the circle. So that's what we're going to do here. So there's the 2 principles. And the 3rd principle that I do hold a lot of store by is that we have got these. We're the intelligent ones. We've got these, and if you couple these with some rope, there's or reins, or there's nothing that you can't do. So we are able to work out a lesson plan. We are able to get the horses to do that thing that we want to do in the bite size that we want to do it. The question is, can you be bothered? Well, as it happens, now we're doing the gunshots, we can be bothered. So let's see how that's going. Working on 3 principles. We can arrange it. We are going to the trouble of arranging it in a bite size and giving the horse a job. So that he doesn't pay attention to me instead of to Zana. Good boy. Way, good boy. Yeehaw! Yeehaw, Rango.
React a little bit. Shut up, Carl.
Yeah.
Just shut that up a little bit.
Yeehaw, Rango.
So you can see that the horse isn't totally blank to this gun. It's going around doing its thing. It's going a bit faster than normal, but it's still sticking. What we're doing is loose schooling this horse and sticking to the same pattern. And by the way, did you hear Zana whistle there? And stand still. And that's the cue for the horse to come in.
Oh, that's so cute.
It is cute. And there we are. Happy horse.
Oh. Have you not got polo for him?
Oh, okay. Let's just quieten that down a little bit while that gets on. So there we are. Happy horse. So in terms of something like the horse not going into the arena when the other horses are in there, or anything, or the horse wanting to pay more attention to everything else, the principles are the same. Give it a job that it can do. In the bite size, it can do it. So if it's overwhelmed by there being lots of horses in the arena, start off with one or two. The principle of we're intelligent and we can suss this out and we can go to that effort. So it can be solved. For a start off, if your horse goes into the field with lots of horses, I mean, horses are horses. Some of them do stand on the edge of the herd. I don't know. Perhaps they've been bullied, or perhaps it's just the way they are. But they can go into the field with the other horses. Therefore, they can go into an arena with the other horses. So what we need to be aware of with ourselves is we mustn't transfer through to the horse and become frightened of the flags, the other horses, the going out away from the stables. We mustn't start bringing the horse's mind into our own. Oh, he won't like that. Oh, we're going to have a problem. Oh, we have to... Sorry, I got that the wrong way around. We mustn't put our minds into the horse's mind and start seeing through the horse's eyes, because they're a prey animal and they'll see danger everywhere. And it's very, very tempting to do that, especially if you are feeling a little bit anxious. You've got to bring the horse into your eyes. So when you see a bin, riders aren't scared of bins unless they're on a horse. Well, that just shows that you're seeing it through the horse's eyes. The horse has to see it through your eyes, through that leadership, in bite sizes, so that A, you don't frighten yourself, and B, you don't frighten the horse. So, for example, if we were napping, if you've got a horse that won't go out, a solution might be to put the horse into a trailer, drive up the other end of the village, and simply come back. So when the attraction is the horse coming back, and it starts to enjoy itself more and skip that bit of initial let's have a fight, for example. Or you might want to hide a horse 100 yards around the corner, and so it's going to go up and see its mate. Some little thing, so that the thing that we are doing, we're going to go and see your mate that's just around this corner, is the thing we are doing, the job that we've got. Come on, let's go and see Bunty or whatever your mate is called. If you can be bothered to do it. Now look at the effort Zana's gone to here. I'm sure you've not been watching my chatting here, but you've been watching that. She's gone to the effort. She's taken the trouble to teach that horse a routine. She's gone to the trouble to teach that horse a routine and crack the whip. She's gone to the trouble to teach the horse a routine and crack the whip and crack the bull whip. And now she's got to the trouble to teach the horse a routine and crack the whip and crack the bull whip and introduce the gun. And we're away. So there we are. That's the principles that I've used, and it's been hugely successful in everything that we've done. So I hope that's been interesting. Please stick a comment in
so that I can learn from you what I'm expressing well, what I'm not expressing well. And of course, there's going to be situations with horses where what I say generically on a YouTube broadcast is not going to apply to that particular horse. But although the exceptions prove the rules, the principles will always be the same. Anyway, I hope that's been interesting for you. And if you've got any questions, any comments, stick them in and perhaps we'll chat about them tomorrow. Thanks very much for listening. See you later.